Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the deals that have gone wrong for me. The first one we'll start with, it was a mobile home that Katie and I worked on. We found this person through Redx. It's a tool I use. You get all the pre-foreclosure people, and then you get a phone number, emails, whatever, address, of course. Find a pre-foreclosure, and you reach out, you call, text, door knock, whatever you got to do to get a hold of this person. And this was an older lady. It took a while to get a hold of her, get through. She always kept saying, no, no, no. Katie, she's very persistent. She kept calling, following up, being friendly. Even though this lady was saying no, Katie kept being friendly, just reaching out, and then they built a good rapport after a while. And then finally she breaks through and said, yeah, you know what? Let me sell this property. And it's a mobile home in Middleburg. So she has a family member living in the property. Now the family member, she's like, but don't tell the family member we're selling the property. And like, well, this is kind of odd. But we thought we were getting it for a good price because we put in our head, okay, worst case, the house will need this, this, and this. Even though we walked the outside, we drove by, didn't walk the full outside because, again, the person was living on the property. And she had a horse in the front yard too, which was, first time ever for us seeing a horse in the front yard. And so we look at outside like, man, it looks decent. It's got 2 sheds on it. It's got this and that. We should be able to make this work. Let's go for it. So we agree on terms, agree on a price. We get the close on the property. Then we have to go talk to the lady in the house. Say, hey, look, we bought the property, and she can't believe, that the property sold. We talked to the lady's daughter, and of course, then you find out all this drama between the person we bought the property from and the family member saying, well, she didn't give us a chance to buy it, and all this and that and that. But the people living there, they ended up being cooperative. They ended up moving out, and that was, that took a little bit of time. And we did have to serve a notice to them saying, look, I understand your situation, but we did buy the property and we need you to leave. So we gave them 30 days to get out. Now, when we get this property, it is just wrecked. This lady had dogs everywhere. They were in the room, and there's probably 5-6 dogs in a room all together, just tearing this room up. And it was horrible. It was one of the worst properties we walked in. And like, gosh dang it. And so we're like, okay, what can we do with this property? So we just try to, we paid a little money, get it cleaned out, get all the junk out. And, getting the junk out was like, okay, let's put it on the market. We put it on the market. Of course, all the offers are coming. We spent probably a good $3,000 getting the junk out. And all the offers coming in at kind of where I would buy the house at. I saw, so we bought it for $110, and like, well, if I was to buy this house as an investor, I'd probably pay like $90, $95 for it. And that's where all the offers come in, at $95, $90, some, of course, some at $80. I'm like, man, we can't take a bloodbath on this house. So in order to, try to hopefully get a little more money, okay, what we'll do? We'll, because we know it's leaking, and this is during summertime, so we know that the Florida summertime brings afternoon showers, and the roof is leaking, and so the house is already pretty messed up. But we thought, okay, if I'm gonna get offers in already at 95 and 80, we paid 110. I guess the next thing we probably can do is try to just do small fix it, so makes it so the pitch then is you do a little bit of repairs. So you tell the market, like, hey, this one's investor ready. Some major stuff is done. Now, you can do the rest. So we decided to find we got a good deal on getting the roof done. That was another $8,000 to get the roof fixed up. So now we're all in this at $11,000. And we're like, okay, now let's put the house on the market at $140. And hopefully we get offers in around $130. Well, that didn't work out either. We started getting offers in now at the 110 price range, 115. So now we're getting at where we bought it at. But we had just put $11,000 in this property. So it was one of the things, like, we thought about fixing it up, but we felt weird about the market. Like, the market just wasn't going the direction we thought it was. And to fix it up would have cost probably about $60 to $70. And so if we put at 110, put another $70,000 into it, we're at 180. We might be able to sell it at 220, and then paying the closing costs and realtor fee, we probably would have, I'd say, 210 maybe, all in. And if we could have got like $225 for it, but then we don't know. Again, a lot of what ifs and not knowing. And so we decided just to, we got a decent offer at $115. Like, hey, let's just cut our losses. We'll lose a total of like $8,000 on this property. Let's just get out of this. And so we lost $8,000 on the house, but that was a big learning lesson for me as far as don't buy a house really sight unseen unless you're getting it for a stupid good price, especially if it's a mobile home. And I probably could have flown my drone over to get a better look at the property, and it just taught us a lesson that we got to be really careful of buying a home sight unseen. We sold to the guy who's going to fix it up. He moved in and fixed it up. I drove by it recently. It looks decent on the outside. Not sure what he's done on the inside, but for him, it was a good deal. If you're going to buy in it, fix it up, buy it, live in it, fix it up, it saves you a whole bunch of money. And he paid cash for it. So that was a big lesson for us of buying a home sight unseen and not doing a better job of homework and negotiating, because we really should have came down the price a lot lower. Or maybe we could have done a job fixing up, and there's a lot of what ifs. But at that point, I just wanted to be done with that. I just wanted to get out of that deal and not hold on too long, and not try to, because the comps weren't looking really good in Middleburg at the time. And hindsight 2020, maybe we could have done a little better job. I'm thinking now about trying to be more a discount fixer-upper, but it just needs so much work. I mean, it was just like, I wasn't ready to put another $40,000 of my own personal money into a mobile home at the time. So that was just a lesson. Lesson one, is the good story about it is be persistent. Be persistent with follow-up. It took time. But don't let people's stories, we let this lady's story, don't tell them that I'm selling the house. And she was a nice older lady, so you kind of want to believe her and trust her. And we believed her. I don't want to say it that way, but we just got to be upfront and find out all information from all parties before you dive in and buy a house, and then you're stuck trying to pick up all the pieces at the end of it. So be persistent, follow up, find all the information you can about property. Take a look at the inside. That's the biggest thing. We walked the outside, but we didn't take a look at the inside. If I would have took a look at the inside, it'd been a totally different story. I would have said, Katie, we can't do this one, or we got to come down, $10,000, $15,000 on price to make it work. So that's just one, I got several other stories, but that's just one story I want to share with you guys about the pitfalls of buying a house sight unseen. There's a mobile home. I guess I'd probably be more inclined to buy a home, just because mobile homes have so many issues that come with them. And homes do too, but mobile homes are just different category. Like with skirting, the architectural stuff underneath the house, tie-down straps, septic, and all other issues. Because that's the other issue was septic tank. They had said that the septic tank wasn't working, and so putting a new septic in, that's not $10,000-$15,000. Forgot about that. So again, to go back to the house, it's just a lot of things that you just don't think about. And when we started running numbers for it, it was like this was not going to work out. So don't buy a house sight unseen unless it's really, really a good deal, discount. I learned a lesson before with doing tax auctions. Buying homes sight unseen has been tricky as well for tax auctions. We bought one property at tax auctions before I joined up with Katie. There's people living there, so I couldn't go into the house. And I drove it, checked at nighttime, checked daytime, walked around as best I could the property, looked at it. It looked like a normal house. And then when we buy the property, and after the tax auction, and it took a while to get the people out of the property, that was a whole other process too, and money as far as getting people evicted out of the property. Find out there's no floor. The floor is the ground. Somehow they took out all the flooring in this house, so it's just dirt. And I was like, oh my goodness, such a night. I was like, oh my goodness, such a nightmare to find a house that's just dirt, and it's like, oh. And it needs everything. The only thing good about the house were the walls. Roof was shot. The floor plan sucked because they kept adding on and just dirt on the floor. So I was like, oh my goodness. And that one actually is still available. because I also made a mistake of, I also should have done my due diligence on the property as far as, we bought it from tax auction, but looking at what the property was zoned for was commercial. And I still thought, well, we should be able to swing it, because if from the outside it looks huge, from the tax record it looks great, but then come to find out it's like commercial property and no floor. It's like, oh man, I'm getting a headache just thinking about that property. Makes for some good content as far as like a distressed home, but it's a still challenging property I'm still dealing with to this day. It's been like 3 years. So don't buy houses sight unseen. Do your best to get into a house. Unless it's you're getting for a super discount where you can have contingency of like, say, hey, even my normal process, it's about 60, 70K to put a house, but I'm getting such a good deal that if I put 100K in the house, it still makes a deal. You know what I mean? Where like, again, you're thinking, okay, my normal rehab is 60K, but you get a house for such a stupid deal that even if it ended up being a rehab of 100K, you're making a good profit. And that's the only time I'd buy a house sight unseen, where if I had to go full extreme, I'm making a profit. But these buying house sight unseen, I won't be doing that again. So those are my 2 examples of buying homes sight unseen and deals that didn't go the right way. So just be careful out there. If you're buying a house sight unseen, do your best to get inside. If you can't, buy it for a discount. And if you can't get it for that discount price that you know is work out for you, walk away. Trust me, you'll feel better about walking away than putting your toe in that murky water, and then you end up being stuck with this property, and next thing you know, your bills and all the other stuff start piling in, and you just can't offload the property. And if you do offload it, you're offloading where you're losing money. So if you can't get inside, be okay with offering a discount price, knowing that that's the best price you can offer. And if you don't get it, walk away. And that's just my thoughts. Thanks again for watching. If you have a question about buying a flip or what numbers you should run for a property, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help you guys out. Thanks so much. Have a great day.